And welcome back to Frankly Speaking in conjunction with the Knights of Christendom. Okay, guys, little site update video today. I have recently regained the reins over at the Knights of Christendom as well too. Anthony and Neil are taking some time off, personal time off. This stuff can be wearing at times, and they just needed some time off from the site. And I had started my own site over at Frankly Speaking. For those of you that haven't been to my new site over there, Frankly Speaking, I'll put a link down here in the description box. I would appreciate if you subscribe there. Not nearly as big of the audience as I have here at Knights of Christendom, but clearly, or should I say, but I'm over there and I got a lot of stuff over there that I'm putting out constantly. And so now, I'm in a position here where I'm juggling two sites, and I'm more than happy to do that. I have the time and the willingness and the desire. And I'll be taking the reins here at KOC until both, Neil and Anthony are ready to come back and join me here, because Knights of Christendom was founded by the three of us. And it was founded, again, as sort of as a community sort of vlog site where we would do our own things and work together. We've done lots of great works over the years, and it's been a joy working with Anthony and Neil. I've learned so much from them over the years. I consider them two of my best friends in the world, and I'll miss working with them. I've really missed working with Neil a lot recently because he's been gone for a while dealing with some personal matters. Anthony's now stepping aside for a while, and he needs some, dealing with life issues just like we all do, just like I do. But it's been a joy working with everybody, working with them. And now that I'm back here more full time at KOC, I'll be lining up the guests and keeping up the conversations that I've always brought to you guys, right? And that's what I do. I like to talk. I like to throw ideas around. I don't consider myself the smartest man in the world or the biggest intellect in the world, but I work hard at what I do, and I enjoy doing what I do, and I love engaging with our audience. I love speaking with special guests. I think we put out a good product, a good show. We talk a lot about a lot of issues that affect everyday Americans and Catholics of that nature, and I'll continue to do what I normally do, and I hope you guys continue to join us here. And again, maybe also subscribe to my own personal site. That's really pretty much it. Just want to give an update. I think, as we move forward, you'll probably see a few site changes, things like that. I'll focus on getting some special guests in, and if you guys want to hear me comment on any topics, please feel free to drop in a comment here in the comment section. Tell me what you guys want to hear, want to talk about. My specialty is more history, politics, culture. That's what I deal with mostly. I deal a little bit in Catholic apologetics. I love defending Holy Mother Church. I don't deal too much in internal church affairs, the whole trad and Novus Ordo thing. I know it's there. I know there's a discussion to be had, but I just don't partake of that. As I said so many times before, I'm not a theologian. I'm just a faithful Catholic that follows the traditions that I was raised in, the traditions of my family that go back to the island of Sicily, that I've come to cherish and love and reverence, that have built up deep, rich culture in a family that I love and am proud of, and in many ways, and in many ways, I wish that was a world that we could go back to. But obviously, the world is progressing, and from my part, I think it's progressing in a dark manner as civilization has kind of it's off course at this point in history. And it's funny because it's something that I've been talking about for many years now. I was talking about it back when I was in the classical liberal camp back in the days, but specifically here at Knights of Christendom and over at my site, Frankly Speaking. I mentioned before, I think the world's in a dark place right now. I think at the core root of it, it's spiritual darkness that lends itself, or at least extends out into the culture and the family, and ultimately the political system. Will continue to deal with those cultural problems, those societal problems here. We'll deal with some politics. I don't do the left and right politics all that much, but I will when I have to, and I'll deal with that. And so that's kind of where we're going to move forward here at Knights of Christendom, and hopefully I'll get my two partners back soon, because I'll miss them. And I want to thank everybody, all the subscribers here in Knights of Christendom. I know sometimes our content is a little different because we don't approach it from a left and right dichotomy. We approach it more from an integralist perspective, right? And so that kind of pits two different worlds against one another. The liberal world versus sort of the old Catholic world. That's kind of how I see, how I judge the world in a lot of ways, but how I see a lot of the problems of the world and where we're going. and liberalism and modernity have been a problem in a lot of ways. They've been good in some ways too, don't get me wrong, but they've been bad in a lot of ways, particularly spiritually and culturally. And that's the path we'll continue to go down. Apart from that, just remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get the notifications. And I want to thank all of our audience that continues to be, be here, every time we put a cast out. And, it's really, I'm flattered, and it's an honor to have your attention here. As like I said so many times before, I don't consider myself anybody special. I'm just a guy that I look out into the world and I see lots of things that are wrong. And I think a lot of the ideas that we present here, especially myself, I think are different. It's a different perspective of looking at the world. That's what I try and do here, because there's some things that are lost in the midst of even dialogue, because sort of the principles of modernity, post-enlightenment society, whatever you have, even Protestantism, have infected our hearts and minds in the way where I think lots of sort of the principles of right and wrong, good and evil, have been lost. And we've learned to blur the distinctions of right and wrong and good and evil, to where we've forgotten the faith, we've forgotten the culture, we've forgotten our ancestral roots, we've forgotten the 2,000-year knowledge of the faith that guided and built our civilization. And now that we're off course, we're trying to correct the problems of liberalism by impugning more liberalism. And that's a problem in many ways. So as usual here at the Knights of Christian, may Christ the King reign throughout society, the social kingship of Jesus Christ. That's what we believe in here in some kind of capacity. Politics is, politics is an interesting business, and how through time and space, a lot of these dysfunctions in society present themselves, and then we have to react. I'm not one saying that we have to go back to, 1432 and establish monarchies, not in that capacity. I think once history changes, and oftentimes it's up to God to sort of respond, and it's for us up to really follow his will on what the future may hold. Oftentimes I don't present any answers because I don't know what the future holds. I think, through the apparitions of Our Lady, through some of the prophecies, we've known that dark, turbulent times are coming really to this world, and we're going to have to deal with it. And I think we're dealing with it now. And the funny thing about it is I think most people see it now, but because, again, we've sort of shifted the paradigm shift of civilization, and so many people are caught up in the left and right sort of dichotomy, sort of in this left and right world, I should say, that it's hard to kind of foresee any true and deep answers. And in many ways, all we talk about is sort of this left and right fight that happens, when in fact, I would argue the left and right fight is what's gotten us here at this point in time. We have to think outside the box. We have to go back to our ancestral roots. We have to go back to Holy Mother Church. We have to go back to the sacraments, and we have to give true and proper public devotion to God. It is the only way to fix this system, right? Even if you believe, democracy in that sense is the answer because it's the governing body of ideology, or should I say the dominant governing body of ideology, fine, fair enough. I have my questions about democracy, but even with that, if that's how we're to move forward, it can't be done with sort of this laissez-faire, kind of, religious liberty or religious indifferentism. It's costing us. It's costing us our families. It's costing us our culture. It's costing us, wars all over the globe, and a bunch of other problems where people suffer every single day because we've never gotten these things straightened out in our civilization. And that's our job here at the Knights of Christendom and over at Frankly Speaking. That's what I'm going to continue to do. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank signing off. Good night, everybody.